Hello everybody. Now I've got some new books with stories today, and the first one is one about a story that you probably know because you'll have been told it at school as well as we've read it on here, and it's all about Joseph, but it's done in a very different way. All right, this is a poem, a story written in a poem, and it's called Joe's Bros and the Bus. Wow. It's a story that's written by Fylde Christian, and the pictures you'll see are drawn by Liz and Kate Pope. I hope you like it. I thought it was good fun. Okay. Now come and meet Joe and his squillion brothers, like Asher and Dan and Judah and, well, others. With so many bros, a big car was a must. So they took all their trips in Dad's minibus. There you go, Joe's Bros and the Bus. He didn't really have a minibus at that time. Dad just couldn't help it. Joe was his favourite. Choose a coat, Joe. And you know what? I'll pay for it. Joe's brothers' coats were all dark grey or duller. So Joe picked a jacket of every bright colour. Green sleeves, silver lining, blue coat, blue collar, gold top, black belt, chocolate buttons, the best in the shop. Joe's brothers frowned at the reds, blues and greens, not helped as they left when Joe told them his dreams. Hey, brothers, I dreamed that we had sheaves of wheat, and yours bowed to mine like you knelt at my feet. And the sun, moon and stars, they bowed too. Who'd have thunk? As he talked, the door closed with a pfft, beep, clunk. Joe's jacket snagged on the minibus door as the bus trundled off. His coloured coat tore. Hey guys, wait up! You're my bros! That's what matters. But they'd gone. Joe looked down. Dreams and jacket in tatters. The brothers had sold poor young Joe down the street. A long way from home he was sad and downbeat. But he landed a job at the Potty's big mansion. They needed a cleaner. Well, blame a bit of overexpansion there. Joe liked Mrs. Potty, liked cleaning her jewellery. But one day she grabbed him for a bit of tomfoolery. Come on now, Joe, I'm just after some kisses. So Joe ran off quickly, pursued by this Mrs. Out in the street, a policeman was strolling. He spotted the jewels that poor Joe was still holding. Out stepped Mrs. Potty. She shouted, "Stop, thief!" "She chased me," said Joe, in complete disbelief. The police didn't trust him, so Joe was then driven in a rusty police van and taken to prison. His cellmate had worked for the king as a waiter. "Hey, Joe, I've had dreams. Could you be my translator?" "I dreamed of these grapes and some vines and a tree." Joe replied, "Oh, that means God says you'll be free. You'll be back in your job by the king serving ale." And that next day he was. But he forgot Joe in jail. Years later, a crazy dream bothered the king. cows and thin cows. What did it all mean? The waiter said, "I know a man who can tell us." The king's finest carriage brought Joe to the palace. "Your dream," said Joe, "means 7 years of good harvest. But stockpile, or the next 7 years we all starve. It's important to store in a warehouse that's large." "I will," said the king. "Oh, and you'll be in charge." So Joe became boss of collecting the grain for 7 good years of nice crop growing rain. The next 7 years the tractors went quiet, but thanks to Joe's storage, all ate a good diet. A familiar boss came. Joe's brothers were hungry. They'd not stored like Joe had, so travelled cross country. But who was this helpful man giving them dinner? Their brother, last seen in the bus's rear view mirror. They bowed, but Joe hugged them. "It's me. I'm your brother, just now with an apron of every bright colour." The brothers and sun and moon and stars looked and smiled, but above all, God loved what he'd dreamed as a child. It's a very different way of telling the story of Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, isn't it? But I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, the stories in the Bible can be told in so many different ways, but it's all about listening to God and following his instruction. So Joseph was told he was going to be a really important man. Unfortunately, he then told his brothers, and in a sort of very superior way, which didn't help. But eventually it came right, and God saw that it was good. I hope you enjoyed that story. Next week we'll have a different one. I hope you enjoy Steve's quiz as well. I don't know what it is, but I have great fun trying to do it. Bye.
Morning. Another great story, eh? Well, the quiz this morning is really going to test your little grey cells. How clever are you? I'm going to set you a number of riddles, and the answers to the riddles are all found in the Bible. They're either things or places or people that are found in the Bible. They all come in a riddle that rhymes. Are you confused? Oh, I hope not, because I am. Let's give it a whirl, and I think you'll see what I mean. This is the first question. You might need to recruit some help from your big brothers or sisters, or even your mum or dad or nan or granddad to give you some help with these, okay? But it's all a good learning process. Here we go with number 1. I was the first, but not the last. Many have walked this earth, but I didn't begin the same as you. To me, no one gave birth. Who am I? Let me say that again. I was the first, but not the last. Many have walked this earth, but I didn't begin the same as you. To me, no one gave birth. Who am I? So it's a person in the Bible that's perhaps just like you or me, yet they never gave birth. They weren't born. They were never a baby or a child. Who could that have been? What a strange thing. I see your eyes light up. Did you get who it was? Yes, it's Adam, the first man. He was never a child because God made him as an adult. God created him from the dust of the ground. That's right. Got the idea now? Let's have a go at number 2. Are you ready? I was very old when I became a dad, but God had promised I'd have a son. I was the father of many nations, beginning with the Jewish one. Who am I? I'll tell you it again. I was very old when I became a dad, but God had promised I'd have a son. I was the father of many nations, beginning with the Jewish one. Who am I? Who can you think of in the Bible that was really old before he had his first child, who was a son? And if it helps, the son's name was Isaac. Doesn't tell us that in the riddle, but I'm helping you out of it. Who was this old man who had a son, became the father of many nations? No? You could be right. The answer is Abraham. Did you get that? Let's move on to number 3. He came to me and said, "Please, let my people go." And so the plagues made me so mad, I still kept saying no. Who am I? Once again, he came to me and said to me, "Please, let my people go." And as the plagues made me so mad, I still kept saying, "No." Who am I? Oh, that's another hard one. These are not easy, are they? If I tell you that the man that was speaking, the one that kept coming to him, demanding that his people should be let go, was Moses, and it's the children of Israel who were slaves, demanding to be let go, who was the person that wouldn't let them go? Haha. Yes, it was Pharaoh, the king, the ruler of Egypt, where the children of Israel were slaves and being kept captive. Did you get that? That was very hard. What about this one? You might get this one. I was such a little man that I could hardly see, and so I climbed a tree that day to see Jesus. But he saw me. Who am I? I was such a little man, belie me, that I could hardly see, so I climbed a tree that day to see Jesus. But he saw me. Who am I? Who was a very small man who wanted to see Jesus, but was so short he couldn't see over the crowd, so he climbed up a tree so that he could get a look at Jesus as he passed by underneath the tree. What was his name? He was a tax collector. He wasn't a very nice man, but he changed completely when Jesus met him. And he told him to come down from the tree, and he went down to his house for a meal with him. Who was the man? It was Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a very little man, and a very little man was he. When the Saviour came and passed that way, he climbed to a sycamore tree. So the song goes on. What about this one? This next one's not a person, but it's something. Okay, it's something. Maybe we see in the sky. I am a sign of promise made by God for me and you. A promise he'll never again flood the earth. Purple, red, green, yellow, and blue. Who am I? Ooh, did you get that one? We often see it in the sky after it rains. Let me read it again. I am a sign of a promise made by God for me and you. A promise he'll never again flood the earth. Purple, red, green, yellow, and blue. What am I? Do you remember when it rains hard, and then when it stops raining and the sun comes out, we often see a rainbow in the sky? That's the promise God gave after he flooded the earth. He says, I'm going to put a rainbow in the sky when it rains, so as a reminder to you that I'm not going to do that ever again. And this is the last one. This is, well, it's an animal, okay? I'm soft and curly and white, and was used for sacrifices long ago. I'm also another name for Jesus, a word all children should know. Well, that's more difficult than it sounded like it was going to be. I'm soft and curly and white, and was used for sacrifices long ago. I'm also another name for Jesus, a word all children should know. Who am I? What animals are soft and curly and white? Have woolly coats? Yes, little lambs. Jesus is known as the Lamb of God. Did you get any of those? They were hard, weren't they? But we can't have easy quizzes every week because you're too clever and we need to learn a few things. If you got any at all, you did very well. If you got them all, you're a genius and well done. But hey, that's all we've got time for this week. So until next Sunday's Kids Time, it's Steve saying bye for now.